Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesdays with Wendy, where we make small business ownership less stressful, one step at a time. Today, we're going to end our series that we've been talking about all month on Form W-9 for independent contractors. We have talked about what the form is, what information it asks for, and when you need one. Today, we're going to talk about what happens if you don't get one from one of your contractors. Before we get to that, though, if you're just joining me for the first time, my name is Wendy Kane. I'm the owner of Kane Accounting and Financial Coaching. I do bookkeeping and payroll for independent contractors and small businesses so that you can have peace at tax time and throughout the rest of the year. Okay, so Form W-9, we've talked about this. It's a form that you have an independent contractor fill out. It asks for their name, address, tax ID number, and tax classification so that if you pay this person $600 or more during the calendar year, in January, you can send them a 1099 NEC. This is so that they're self-employed and they have to report that income on their tax return. And this tells the IRS, hey, I paid this person $1,000. Make sure they put it on their tax return. That's what the form does. Okay, so we've gone through all the things about what you need it for, when, all this stuff. What happens if you don't get one? What happens if you forget to give them a W-9 before you pay them, or if you give them a W-9 and they just don't fill it out, because that happens too. Okay, well, for starters, um, you can send a 1099 without a tax ID number. Provided we have their name and address, we can mail one to them with the tax ID number blank. Now, that's a last resort. We go through extraordinary lengths, nothing illegal, to get the information from the contractor. And then they sorry, blanking a minute here. We get their information. So if they don't fill out a W-9, we can send them a 1099 without their tax ID number. Okay, the IRS does not like this, as you can imagine. So what that means for you is that the IRS is going to send you a letter. And this letter is going to say, in more professional, boring language, hey, we noticed that you submitted a 1099 without a tax ID number. This is not right. You need to find the tax ID number. And if you don't have it, you need to start backup withholding immediately. Okay, so what's backup withholding then? Well, the money you pay to contractors is self-employment income. They have to pay income taxes and self-employment taxes on that income. So the IRS knows this. If they don't know exactly which tax return to look for that income on, they're going to come back to you as the business owner and say, okay, you need to withhold this income tax for them. The backup withholding rate is 24%. It's just huge. So that means if your contractor did a job and you paid them $1,000, what you're supposed to do, if they haven't filled out the W-9, you're supposed to keep $240 of that and only pay them $760. Now, I don't know about you, but as a business owner, I mean, that makes me kind of nervous. The contractor's going to be like, hey, the bill was for 1,000. Where's the rest of my money? And, as a business owner, you want to pay your bills. You don't want to not pay your bills. And to tell them, well, I'm doing backup withholding. It gets into some really sticky, awkward situations. And so it's really there. I mean, it is the rule, and you should be doing it if you're in that situation, but it's there more as a deterrent. They really just want you to get the tax ID number so that you can give them the 1099 to the right spot. And the IRS doesn't want the backup withholding. They really just want you to get the tax ID number. But if that's the case, I mean, if you pay them 760 and they were expecting 1,000, then you can easily say, okay, well, give me the give me the W-9 and I'll pay you the rest of the money. it's a bit still an awkward conversation to have, but it is what it is. I mean, these are the laws, they're the rules. This how the rest of us play by these rules, so they have to play by it too. I know I have had many conversations with clients who in January, we're looking for a W-9 from a person who they paid back in July or June. And suddenly this person is scarce. They're not answering their phone, they're not answering their email, all that type of thing. Because suddenly they're like, I don't think I need to pay. Of course they are. So that's what backup withholding is. No one wants to do it. But you're supposed to do it if you don't get a W-9 with a tax ID number. And hey, Nicole, I see your comment. Thank you so much for watching. I think you're one of the first people to watch me live. Thank you. Nicole's a dear friend from back in the day. I won't say how long ago. Thanks, Nicole. All right. The one other little wrinkle to add to this is that, and this is I just recently found out about this. If you don't do the backup withholding, and you go ahead and pay them the $1,000, say, the IRS can come after you as the business owner and say, hey, we told you to do backup withholding. You didn't do it. So now you have to pay it. So that means you will have paid this contractor $1,000, and then you got to take $240 of your own money and pay it to the IRS. And I don't know about you. I mean, I'm okay with paying my own taxes, but I don't want to pay anyone else's. I mean, if I got to pay tax, they got to pay tax too. Like we're just not going there. So all this is said, I hate to scare people, but it's the law. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm going to post a link in the comments for the backup withholding page on the IRS website, and it'll tell you all that you want to know and more. Anyway, what this all boils down to is if you are a business owner and you hire somebody who's not an employee, they're not doing W-2 payroll, and you are paying them more than $600, please, please, please get them to fill out a W-9 before they do any work, or at least as soon as you can, because it will just make your life easier. It will make your accountant's life easier. It will make your tax preparer's life easier. And then everybody's happy. No one gets a letter from the IRS because no one wants that either. Okay, that is it for this week. Remember, no one is born knowing how to do this. Trust me, you're not born knowing tax law. No one is. Some of us who do this stuff even have to look it up. It changes all the time. Well, you're not born knowing how to do this, and it is not taught in school. If you're feeling lost and overwhelmed, you are not alone, and that's why I'm here to help you. Y'all have a good day.